You've been told to retire in Florida or Arizona, maybe even Texas. But right now, thousands of retirees are quietly packing their bags not for the Sun Belt, but for a state most people completely overlook. A state where your Social Security is never taxed, where your pension is fully protected, where small-town charm, world-class hospitals, and homes under $300,000 still exist. That state is Pennsylvania. And in 2026, it's quietly becoming America's best-kept retirement secret.
Number 10. Stroudsburg. The Pocono Mountains town retirees are loving right now. There's a reason real estate agents in the Pocono Mountains region are busier than they've been in a decade. Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, population just under 50,000 in the surrounding area, is quietly becoming one of the hottest retirement destinations on the East Coast. And when you spend 5 minutes looking at what it offers, it's not hard to understand why. Let's start with the setting, because it matters. Stroudsburg sits right at the edge of the Delaware Water Gap National Recreation Area. That's over 70,000 acres of forests, waterfalls, rivers, and trails, all basically your backyard. If you've spent your whole career behind a desk, the idea of walking out your front door and within 20 minutes finding yourself beside a rushing creek or a ridge trail overlooking New Jersey, that's not just appealing. For a lot of retirees, it's life-changing. But Stroudsburg isn't just scenery. The town has a real, active downtown. Sherman Theater has been hosting concerts and live performances for close to 100 years, and it's still going strong. There are local restaurants, coffee shops, and boutiques that give the Main Street a character that chain-heavy suburbs completely lack. The cost of living sits at approximately 1% below the national average, which sounds modest but adds up meaningfully over a 20-year retirement. And here's the thing most retirees discover after they move. Housing in the Stroudsburg area is far more reasonable than the coastal towns of New Jersey and New York that are just an hour away. For healthcare, Lehigh Valley Hospital Pocono and nearby East Stroudsburg provides solid, accessible medical care. And for more specialized needs, the larger Lehigh Valley Hospital network is within a manageable drive. The area also has age-restricted communities like Shawnee Ridge at University Park for those who want to be around fellow retirees. And Pennsylvania doesn't tax your Social Security, your pension, or your IRA withdrawals. That means your retirement income stretches further the moment you cross the state line.
Number 9. Gettysburg, where history lives and retirees are thriving. Most people think of Gettysburg as a place to visit for a weekend, but a growing number of retirees are doing something different. They're staying. And when you look at the numbers and the lifestyle, it makes complete sense. Gettysburg is a small borough in Adams County, home to roughly 8,600 people, with a close-knit, deeply community-oriented feel that's increasingly rare in modern America. The crime rate sits about 30% below the national average, a fact that resonates deeply with retirees who want to feel genuinely safe in their neighborhood. Property values have remained accessible, with median home prices hovering around $430,000, reasonable for what you get, especially when you factor in Pennsylvania's generous property tax rebate program for seniors. The history here is unlike anywhere else in America. Gettysburg National Military Park covers thousands of acres of preserved battlefield, and for retirees with a love of American history, it's essentially a living museum right outside the door. You can walk the same ground where the Civil War's turning point was fought. You can visit the spot where Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address, the Jenny Wade House, ghost tours, the Heritage Center Museum. There is simply no shortage of ways to stay intellectually engaged in this town. Beyond history, Gettysburg has a genuine downtown with restaurants, antique shops, and local businesses centered around Lincoln Square. The community event calendar is active, from reenactments to seasonal festivals to markets, and volunteerism runs deep here. The town also benefits from its proximity to Chambersburg, Harrisburg, and York for additional medical and shopping resources. And with Pennsylvania's complete exemption of Social Security and pension income from state taxes, retirees are finding that their monthly check goes further here than it would in Maryland, New Jersey, or Virginia, states they're increasingly leaving behind.
Number 8.
Kennett Square, the quiet gem in Chester County. Not many people outside of Pennsylvania have heard of Kennett Square, but here's a statistic that tells you everything you need to know about this place. It produces nearly 60% of all the mushrooms grown in the United States. That's right, this small borough of about 7,000 people is the mushroom capital of the world. And while that quirky fact makes for a great dinner party story, it's only the beginning of why retirees are quietly discovering Kennett Square in 2026. Chester County is consistently ranked among the safest, most prosperous counties in Pennsylvania, and Kennett Square sits right in the heart of it. The surrounding landscape is a patchwork of farms, estates, and woodlands that give the area a genuinely pastoral feel without sacrificing access to modern amenities. For retirees who want to be near nature without feeling isolated, this balance is close to perfect. The crown jewel is Longwood Gardens, a 1,083-acre botanical garden that's considered one of the greatest horticultural displays in the world. With stunning seasonal flower shows, conservatories, fountains, and meadows, it's the kind of place retirees visit again and again throughout the year. Anson B. Nixon Park adds to the outdoor offerings with hiking, fishing, and tennis right in town. The art scene is genuine and growing, with local galleries and events that cater to an engaged, educated community. For healthcare, Chester County Hospital, part of the prestigious Penn Medicine Network, is a major asset. It's the kind of top-tier medical access that retirees in smaller rural towns often can't find. And because Pennsylvania exempts retirement income from state taxation, retirees moving here from Delaware or New Jersey find an immediate and substantial financial advantage. Housing in Kennett Square and the surrounding townships remains competitive, not cheap, but value-rich for everything the area provides.
Number 7. Carlisle, the college town that retirees are quietly claiming. College towns have a funny reputation when it comes to retirement. People assume they're loud, crowded, and geared entirely toward 20-year-olds. But Carlisle, Pennsylvania tells a very different story. Home to Dickinson College, a respected liberal arts school with roots going back to 1773, Carlisle has all the intellectual energy and walkability of a college town with the quiet, neighborly feel that makes retirement genuinely enjoyable. Carlisle sits in Cumberland County, about 20 miles west of Harrisburg along the banks of the Connedogonee Creek. The borough has a well-preserved historic downtown, a genuine farmers market running from May through November, an award-winning public library, and a walkable main street filled with locally owned shops and restaurants. If you spend decades in suburban sprawl, there's something quietly revolutionary about being able to walk to a coffee shop, a bookstore, and a park all in the same morning. The parks here are a real highlight. Negley Park, Willow Park, and Seibert Park, which includes a swimming pool, lighted tennis courts, and an arboretum, give active retirees plenty of ways to stay moving. The Appalachian Trail passes close enough that day hikes are genuinely accessible. And Harrisburg's museums, restaurants, and shopping are under 30 minutes away when you want more. Healthcare is securely handled by Penn State Health Holy Spirit Medical Center, which serves the Cumberland County area and is well regarded for its range of services. Several well-rated senior living communities are nearby as well. And for those wondering about cost, Cumberland County remains among the more affordable counties in the region, with housing well below the Philadelphia metro area. Combine that with Pennsylvania's tax-free treatment of Social Security, pensions, and IRA income, and you have a retirement setup that holds up financially year after year.
Number 6. Lititz. America's coolest small town is also a retiree's dream. If you've never heard of Lititz, Pennsylvania, you're not alone, but that's changing fast. In recent years, multiple national publications have named it one of the coolest, most charming small towns in America, and retirees across the Mid-Atlantic are starting to pay attention. Located about 6 miles north of Lancaster, in the heart of Lancaster County, Lititz is a borough of roughly 9,400 people with a character that feels both deeply historic and vibrantly alive. The history here is remarkable. Founded in 1756 by Moravian settlers, Lititz is home to more than 100 buildings that reflect its original architecture and heritage. The Julius Sturgis Pretzel Bakery, America's first commercial pretzel bakery in operation since 1861, still gives tours and sells fresh pretzels to delighted visitors. Linden Hall, the oldest continuously operating girls' boarding school in the country, adds another layer of living history to the community. Even the old Wilbur Chocolate Factory has been beautifully repurposed into a hotel, restaurant, and food market. At the center of town, Lititz Springs Park is one of those rare public spaces that retirees fall in love with. There are peaceful walking trails, gorgeous fountains, and a spring-fed pool that the community has gathered around for generations. The main street is lined with antique shops, boutique clothing stores, art galleries, and local cafes. The kind of commercial strip that actually makes you want to walk, browse, and linger. For seniors, the Lititz Senior Center provides social programming, classes, and volunteer opportunities. Lancaster General Hospital, part of Penn Medicine, is just 15 minutes away, providing world-class medical access. Moravian Manor Communities offers upscale senior living right in the area. Housing in Lititz runs around $400,000 to $450,000 at the median, reflecting the town's desirability. But for what you receive in quality of life, community, and location, most retirees who move here say it's more than worth it. We're halfway through the list, and it just keeps getting better. If you're finding this video helpful, or if someone you love is thinking about where to retire, share this video right now. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it before we get to number 1.
Number 5. Mechanicsburg, the suburb that feels like a hometown. There is a version of suburban Pennsylvania that feels completely soulless. Endless chain stores, cookie-cutter developments, and zero sense of place. Mechanicsburg is not that. This Cumberland County borough of about 9,000 people has managed to hold on to its authentic small-town character, even as the surrounding region grows and develops. And for retirees who want the best of both worlds, genuine community feel with easy access to Harrisburg's healthcare and culture, Mechanicsburg is delivering in a big way. The borough's walkable downtown is one of its most compelling features. Locally owned restaurants, specialty shops, and a sense of neighborhood pride give Main Street a life that purely residential suburbs can't replicate. The farmers market, community events, and holiday celebrations create the kind of social calendar that helps retirees stay connected and engaged after leaving the workforce. For active retirees, the outdoor options are excellent. The Yellow Breeches Creek runs nearby and is popular for fishing and kayaking. The broader Cumberland Valley offers cycling trails, and Harrisburg itself is an easy 15-minute drive for larger parks and the Susquehanna River Greenway. Gettysburg, York, and Lancaster are all within comfortable driving distance for day trips. The real draw for many retirees here is Traditions of America at Silver Spring, one of Pennsylvania's most acclaimed 55-plus master-planned communities, which sits in Mechanicsburg and was named among the nation's best for that designation. The clubhouse features a fitness center, indoor pool, sports bar, pickleball courts, bocce, a putting green, and miles of walking trails. For retirees who want the resort lifestyle without the resort price tag, it's a compelling option. Healthcare access through the Harrisburg network, including UPMC Pinnacle, is another major strength. And Pennsylvania's tax exemption on retirement income means every dollar of your pension and Social Security is fully protected from state taxation.
Number 4. Johnstown, the underdog retirement town with a surprising comeback. Johnstown has a complicated history. Most Americans know it from the catastrophic 1889 flood, one of the deadliest disasters in American history, and from its long decline after the collapse of the steel industry. But here's what most people don't know. Johnstown in 2026 is quietly making a comeback, and retirees on a budget are among the first to notice. Start with the price. Median home values in Johnstown hover around $83,000. That is not a typo. For less than $100,000, you can own a real home in a real town with a real community. That number is so far below both the Pennsylvania state average of $278,000 and the national median that it opens the door to a debt-free retirement that would be impossible in most of the country. For retirees on fixed income, that difference between a mortgage payment and zero is not just financial, it's freedom. But Johnstown isn't just cheap. The community has worked hard to rebuild its identity around its rich history, its outdoor assets, and its cultural heritage. The Johnstown Flood National Memorial is a genuinely moving historical site.
The Heritage Discovery Center tells the story of the waves of immigrants, Polish, Italian, Slovak, Hungarian, who built this city with their labor. The annual Johnstown Polka Fest, held every summer, is one of the most genuinely joyful community events in western Pennsylvania, drawing thousands for music, food, and dancing. For getting outdoors, the Jim Meyer Rivers Walk Trail offers riverside walking and cycling. The Allegheny Mountains surround the area with hiking and scenic beauty. For healthcare, Conemaugh Memorial Medical Center is a major regional hospital serving the Johnstown area. The Greater Johnstown Senior Activities Center runs regular meals, classes, and social programming. And with Pennsylvania exempting all your Social Security and pension income from state taxes, a retiree in Johnstown can genuinely live well on a modest fixed income in a way that simply isn't possible in most American cities.
Number 3. Lancaster, the city that keeps surprising retirees. Lancaster, Pennsylvania has a secret it's been quietly keeping for years. It's one of the best cities in America for retirement, and barely anyone outside the Mid-Atlantic region knows it. U.S. News & World Report has consistently ranked it among the top retirement destinations nationally, and Motley Fool's 2026 ranking placed Pennsylvania second overall among states for retirement, with Lancaster County driving a significant part of that ranking. Let's talk about what makes Lancaster tick. The city and its surrounding county offer a rare combination: genuine urban walkability in the downtown core, surrounded by some of the most beautiful farmland in America. Lancaster is home to the oldest continuously operating farmers market in the country, Central Market, which has been open since the 1730s. That's not a tourist attraction dressed up as history. That's living history you can actually shop at on a Saturday morning. The food scene in Lancaster has earned national attention, with James Beard-recognized restaurants sitting alongside Amish bakeries and global cuisine. The arts scene is equally impressive. The Fulton Theater, one of the oldest operating theaters in the country, draws top-quality productions. The Ware Center, the Lancaster Science Factory, and an active gallery scene give culturally engaged retirees more to do than they expected. Healthcare in Lancaster County is anchored by Lancaster General Hospital, ranked as one of the best hospitals in Pennsylvania and part of the Penn Medicine Network. For retirees, that's not a small thing. It's the difference between managing a health issue locally or driving an hour each way for care. Housing remains more accessible than Philadelphia or New York, with a range of options from downtown condos to quiet suburban neighborhoods. And with Pennsylvania's complete exemption of Social Security, pension, and IRA income from state taxation, retirees here consistently report that their money goes further than anywhere they've lived before.
Number 2. Bethlehem, a steel town reborn as a retiree paradise. Bethlehem, Pennsylvania has pulled off something remarkable. It took the bones of a dying steel industry, the literal rusting hulks of blast furnaces, and turned them into a national historic landmark, a music venue, a casino, and a walkable arts district that draws visitors from across the country. What was once Bethlehem Steel, at its peak the second largest steel producer in the world, is now Steel Stacks, a living, breathing arts and culture campus that gives Bethlehem a cultural identity no other small American city can replicate. But Bethlehem isn't just interesting. For retirees, it's genuinely practical. The city sits in Northampton County in the Lehigh Valley, one of the fastest growing and most economically dynamic regions in Pennsylvania. That means jobs for younger family members, important if you want grandchildren nearby, but it also means investment in infrastructure, healthcare, and community services that many similarly sized towns lack. The Lehigh Valley Health Network, one of the largest and most comprehensive hospital systems in Pennsylvania, operates major facilities in the area, giving retirees top-tier access to specialized care. The downtown is genuinely walkable and thriving. Historic Southside Bethlehem has an active restaurant and arts scene. The Banana Factory Arts Center, the Kammerer Museum of Decorative Arts, and the Moravian Bookstore, one of the oldest bookstores in the world, founded in 1745, give intellectually curious retirees endless reasons to stay engaged. The annual Music Fest, held each August, brings free outdoor music performances to the city for 10 days straight and draws close to 1 million visitors.
Housing in Bethlehem is more affordable than nearby New Jersey towns with comparable amenities, and the Lehigh Valley as a whole tends to run below the Philadelphia metro in cost of living. For retirees moving from New York or New Jersey, the savings are immediate and substantial. Add in Pennsylvania's zero state tax on Social Security, pensions, and retirement account withdrawals, and Bethlehem isn't just culturally rich, it's financially smart.
Number 1. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania's capital, is quietly becoming the top retirement destination in the state. If you asked most people to name a great retirement city in Pennsylvania, they'd say Lancaster or maybe Gettysburg. Very few would immediately say Harrisburg, and that's exactly why it's number 1 on this list. Harrisburg is the state capital, sitting on the banks of the Susquehanna River in Dauphin County, and in 2026, it has earned its place as Pennsylvania's top retirement destination based on data, not hype. Let's start with healthcare, because for retirees, it's non-negotiable. U.S. News & World Report has ranked Harrisburg among the top retirement cities in the country, specifically for its proximity to medical specialists and hospital systems. The UPMC Pinnacle Network, Penn State Health Milton S. Hershey Medical Center, just 15 minutes away in Hershey, and a dense network of specialists mean that whatever health challenges retirement brings, you will have access to the care you need without traveling hours to a major metro. The cost of living in the Harrisburg metro area is genuinely affordable, below the national average in most categories, and dramatically below Philadelphia, New York, or Washington, D.C. Yet Harrisburg offers what those large cities offer: real museums, a performing arts scene, diverse dining, professional sports within reach, and cultural events year-round. The National Civil War Museum is considered one of the finest in the country. Riverfront Park, right in the heart of the city, offers walking and cycling paths along the Susquehanna River with mountain views that stop people mid-stride. For active retirees, the City Island Park sits in the middle of the river and hosts baseball, mini-golf, and river cruises. The Appalachian Trail passes within an easy drive. Hershey Park, the historic Hotel Hershey, and Hershey Gardens are pleasant day trips, and Gettysburg, Lancaster, and the Pocono Mountains are all accessible within 90 minutes. Pennsylvania ranks second in the nation for retirement according to Motley Fool's 2026 analysis, and Harrisburg sits at the center of everything that ranking is built on: tax-free retirement income, accessible health care, affordable housing, and a quality of life that quietly outperforms cities 5 times its size. This is the one most retirees wish they'd found sooner.
And that is your list. 10 Pennsylvania towns where retirees are quietly building the retirement they always dreamed of in 2026. From the history of Gettysburg to the mountains of Stroudsburg to the cultural comeback of Bethlehem and the unbeatable setup of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania is making a real case as the smartest retirement move in America right now. If this video helped you or someone you love, please hit that subscribe button right now. Every week, we dig into the real stories about living, retiring, and thriving in Pennsylvania that most people never find. Drop a comment below and tell us which town surprised you the most. We read every single one. And if you know someone who's figuring out where to retire, share this video with them today. It might just change their life. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.